rabbit's got the gun. Life and death lie in the power of the tongue. Took the hits, absorbed like a sponge. Tossed to and fro before my life begun. God had to harness his beast between my teeth. He said I'm above and not beneath. Like little Bo Peep who lost her sheep. Still can't believe he chose me. God caused a sting and a unruly member. Spitting bullets out my mouth like the top of a blender. Born in September, female is my gender. I believe God when he said I'm the lender. Memories of real targets deep in my mind. Shooting with no aim, bad good combined. Bullets everywhere like the scene of a crime. That gun between my teeth, that gun is mine. Bought with the price by my father the sire. The gun cocked and loaded, ready to fire. My prayer just like an assassin for hire. Calling on Jesus like a town crier. Ain't no fun when the rabbits got the gun. Life and death lie in the power of the tongue. Took the hits, absorbed like a sponge. I was tossed to and fro before my life begun.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Listen Up a Minute. I am your host, John Dowl, and it's so good to be back with you. And as always, have to thank the people that make this possible: Audrey Hall, Derek Wright of Full Motion Videos, and Larry Brown of LJB Productions. And without these people, I'd just be here talking to myself. So I want to give a shout out to them and thanking them. Hey, like Larry says, teamwork makes the dream work. I am here with my big sister speaks, Miss Donna Robinson. How are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So glad you could join us. Larry put this together, and this is my first time meeting you. And you wanted to know why he chose you to interview us. And by the time this is over, everyone will know why. You have got a lot of things going on, and we're just going to go down the list, and you can start wherever you want with My Big Sister Speaks,
Big
the novel
sis.
that Big Sis, the
Yes,
novel that you're working on, the play, the children's book. You can tell us about your stint at the Apollo. I mean, you have a lot going on, and this is why Larry chose you.
that's crazy.
No, it's
Because
no.
a lot of times you don't realize that people are paying you any attention.
Yes. When we were here earlier, you were telling us about your audition with the Apollo back in the early 90s and how that
Mhm.
was actually right here in Petersburg at the Country Inn. Talk a little bit more about that.
It was strange. And when God is moving and it's God, we often have a tendency when it really does happen, something happens, we're like, oh no, that can't be him. It must be, whatever. But I had told my mom, I said, Mom, I'm going to perform on the Apollo stage. And of course, my mom was like, oh, okay, of course you will. And it was about 2 weeks later that they had auditions in Petersburg at the Countryside Inn. And they took a bus of people up to perform on the Apollo stage. I thought the Apollo stage was big, but it's very, very tiny. And it was terrifying. I mean, I'm lucky I'm even talking right now. It almost traumatized me out of not talking ever again. But of course, we didn't win. But the Sandman did come, but he didn't come until the end. He let us finish our song. I didn't even know he was trying to hook me. I turned around and punched him in the stomach. Isn't that terrible?
Now, you hear that, folks. Some people you just can't take anywhere, really.
I know.
I just, man.
Reflexes. And I'm in New York too. And this person is up on the stage with a hook chasing me. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
How
I
did you
blanked out.
how did you find out about the audition?
A flyer.
Okay. Okay.
That you remember that? Isn't what is she? An ice? No, ballerina. That said a flyer flew up against her orphanage gate. Have you ever heard that story?
No, I haven't. Shared with us.
Yeah, I don't remember her name, but she's like the top ballerina in the world right now. And she was in an orphanage, and she said she was outside, and it was windy, and this magazine blew up against the gate like you see on TV. And she took that piece and put it in her pocket. And when she did get adopted, she told her adopted mother she wanted to be a ballerina, and now she's the top ballerina in the world. Black lady from Africa.
Wow. Wow. Tell us about how you got the name Big Sis Speaks.
Well, I used to think it was something insulting. And my cousin, she always calls me Big Sis. We call each other our sissy. So
Okay.
when her husband now called, he said, "Hey, Big Sis." And I was like, "Why you keep calling me Big Sis?" But I didn't realize it's a term of endearment. And in our communities, to be Big Sis, Big Mama, Big anything, you've earned a certain amount of respect. And I didn't look at it like that. I looked at it as a derogatory thing. But I knew that he wouldn't say anything to hurt me. His name is George, and my cousin's name is Cheryl. They probably might be listening. But anyway, so when he kept calling me Big Sis, I started to embrace the name. And just one day I just decided to start a YouTube group called My Big Sis Speaks to give women a platform to speak. And that was in 2016. And so that's where we are now. I've neglected that channel. I need to, again, like other people say, go back and, revamp the channel, whatever. But during COVID, I didn't want to do anything.
I can I can understand.
It's real.
When the channel was active and you had people on, what were some of the things that were talked about?
Mostly we talked about just whatever. I would go on, and most of the thing I was talking about was COVID, because it was during the time. But no, I'm talking about 2016. 2016, I have no clue what I was talking about. But during the COVID, I was able to go on the platform because I'm an insomniac. I'm up half the night. So I just started going on live on Facebook saying, any insomniacs awake, let's talk. And we just talked about preparedness and, getting stuff in your home that you're going to need during a storm or whatever. Most of us get caught ill prepared, and so that's basically what it is. And then just talking about things that women deal with and men, that this baggage that we carry around with us for our whole lives that stifles us, stifles our growth.
I have here I have here in my notes, one of the things I jotted down was you said you're working on a children's book,
Mm-hmm.
a stage play, and a novel.
Yeah.
Which one do you want to talk about first?
Oh Lord. You know what? I'm my own worst enemy when it comes to doing things. I have an illustrator who is phenomenal. His name is Ralph Hawkins, and so he's illustrating the book for me. I wrote the book back in 1998,
Wow. Is
and
this a children's book or the
the
novel?
children's book. It's finished. I wrote it in 98, but I wanted a certain look, and every illustrator that I found didn't give me that look. I've met some dynamite artists, but they just didn't fit the vision that I wanted. And so I'm getting ready to do a piece with Mr. Hawkins on this Civil War. And so we're getting ready to start filming that this weekend. And the novel that I'm writing, it's called Lightning Danced Around My Feet. And when I was 5, my grandmother, how back in the day when you went downtown, you dressed up.
Right.
You put on your frilly
Right.
socks and your new dress and whatever. You didn't go down there looking busted. So we were standing at the bus stop, and I kept dancing around. It was raining, and my grandmother said, "Stop bouncing around in the lightning and stuff." And I didn't listen. And all of a sudden, lightning struck between my feet.
Oh,
It hit the ground between my feet and wove in and out of my legs like the figure 8 in and out of my legs. It was crazy. My grandmother and I, we stood there and just stared. And even now, when I think about it too hard, it's just crazy how it happened. But guess what? I
what's
didn't
that?
move anymore.
That's what I was going to ask you. Did you stand still
I
then?
didn't shoot. It would have thought I was a tree. It was awful.
Oh my gosh.
And
So
she said, "You've been marked." Can you imagine somebody telling you that at 5?
at 5 years old, 5 years old, I can't imagine. I couldn't imagine that happening today. I can't imagine.
Exactly.
I can't imagine. So are you going to get the children's book done, or are you going to keep that on hold and work on, I guess, the
No, I
play
have to
or the
get it
novel?
done.
Okay,
I
okay,
have it. My illustrator is on me, which is a good
okay.
thing. So we're
Yeah.
gonna get it done. Like I'm hoping to have it done before the end of December. I sound like Sheba Sheree, don't I?
And, it's always nice to have creative control
Mm-hmm.
because so many people in so many genres of art, they come up with something, but they lose creative control along the way. And by the
Mm-hmm.
time their product is finished, it's not anything that they envision or nothing what
Right.
it's nothing similar or close to what they
Mm-hmm.
started with, but because that
Mm-hmm.
creative control is lost along the way, that's what happens. So it's always good to have creative control.
Thank you. You're right.
Tell us about the stage play.
Well, the stage play, I just got approved to use it's called the Appomattox Christian Training
Okay,
and Art Center.
okay,
But it's not geared just to Christians. I use that word just because that's what I believe.
okay.
But it's a platform for kids to give them an outlet, a creative outlet. And in fact, we would work with their cognitive skills, their reading retention without it being intrusive because they're learning a
Okay,
play. So they
okay.
don't pay attention to the fact that they're learning how to remember and learning how to
Right,
retain information.
right.
And also some of the scenes we want them to write themselves based on what they've seen or know or something. Oftentimes you'll hit a trauma spot and they're able to resolve it in their writing. And that's my goal, is to give them an opportunity to have a voice.
Nice, nice. That sounds nice. Any idea when this might be ready for viewing, if you will?
We opened January the 29th, and we're going to do a production at the end of every school quarter, which would
Okay,
be like a 1 act, and then at the end we'll do a major production. And this year it should be May 27th.
okay,
Mm,
okay. Well, we will certainly get that out on our website, and as the time gets closer and closer, we will maintain contact to try to help you get that word out. That sounds really, really nice. You
thank
also
you.
told us that you are a lyricist as well,
Yes. Mhm.
songwriter.
Sent for a purpose, yes, I'm the one. Thought Pentecost was just a bunch of drunks like Jesus, attacked from behind and in front. I'm a rabbit covered by the blood of the sun. Stop, the gun is loaded, bullets in a chamber. Don't shoot, especially on the edge of anger. No killing with words to being nasty stranger. Unruly tongue, a magnet for danger. Wounds unhealed are like acid to the soul. Grow and fester as we get old. We're faking it all, trying to play this role. Letting our mind keep our journey paroled. A gun with the silencer is just as lethal, like giving anesthesia without a needle. A blow to the brain, throwing off my cerebral. God knows if your heart is being deceitful. Rebuke the life sentence of bad memories. The devil is a lie. He's a real enemy. Jesus hung and died for this masterpiece. Then rose again. What? On day 3, ain't no fun when the rap's got the gun. Life and death lie in the power of the tongue. Took the hits, absorbed like a sponge. I was tossed to and fro before my life begun. Sent for a purpose, yes, I'm the one. Thought Pentecost was just a bunch of drunks like Jesus, attacked from behind and in front. I'm a rabbit covered by the blood of the sun. Try to do better, it just takes a minute. Make the world a better place just because you are in it. The purpose for you is why you were sent. We've all messed up, all need to repent. I don't need a carrot, just give me a microphone. God uses my tongue like a trombone. Drop the daggers and drop the stones. I didn't get this stuff till I was way, way grown. So please forgive my tone or demeanor. I'm just like Joseph, call me a dreamer. It doesn't matter if my pockets are leaner. My God is my awesome redeemer. God will supply when you're low on funds. Naysay naysayers get shook and a little bit stunned. You can't lose a battle that you've already won. Let God be that muscle operating your tongue. Ain't no fun when the rap's got the gun. Down to a dozen, I'm second to none. Why? I'm covered by the blood of the sun, moving to the rhythm of my father's drum. Yes, it's me, God, that prodigal one, using my tongue to edify the sun. Rat-a-tat-tat, my gun is my tongue. Rat-a-tat-tat, my gun is my tongue. Ain't no fun when the rap's got the gun. Life and death lie in the power of the tongue. Took the hits, absorbed like a sponge. I was tossed to and fro before my life begun. Sent for a purpose, yes, I'm the one. Thought Pentecost was just a bunch of drunks like Jesus, attacked from behind and in front. I'm a rabbit, covered by the blood of the sun. Yeah!
Songwriter.
Mhm.
How'd that come about?
I really didn't even know that I was a lyricist. I was telling my cousin, I said, you're gonna have to write another one of those raps like we did when we went to the Apollo. And she said, but I didn't write it, you wrote it.
Oh,
I said, I did. I was getting ideas, not realizing that I was the one writing it. But she said, no, you wrote it. And I was like, okay. And so I've just always written poetry. I've
okay.
written cheers and stuff for the cheerleaders. I just have this rhyme in my head all the time. Not
Okay.
that I could freestyle like some people do, but I know that my voice is valuable. When I was coming up, they used to tease me because my voice was so deep. So I spent most of my life trying to soften up this deep voice. But when I let that thing rip and just be comfortable and almost baritone,
Okay. Okay.
it's cool. It's
Okay.
comfortable.
That deep voice served a purpose.
Yeah.
That's all right. And you embraced it.
Yes.
Nice. That's a good thing.
Hmm.
That is a good thing. Which age group do you work with? Well, with the stage play. What's the age group? Or is there an age limit?
There's not an age limit,
Okay.
but I'm starting at 3rd to 7th grade.
Okay.
So that'll be on, like, I think that's on Mondays, and then Wednesdays it'll be 8 to 12
Okay.
year olds.
Okay.
And then there's be some things we'll do together, but
Uh-huh.
for the most part, those two age groups I think will do better separately.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Mhm.
kind of interesting when you're in elementary school, you don't mind being on stage and remembering and reciting lines. I remember being in a school play in the 5th grade, but
Mhm.
it's maybe when I guess when you get a little older, you realize what you're doing. That's when the stage fright kicks in. Unless you just have a passion for
Right.
theater at that age. But it
Mhm.
really is a good experience.
Yes, it is.
It
Yes,
really
it
is.
is.
Well, big sister, excuse me, Big Sis Speaks, Donna Robinson. I just
Yes.
want to thank you for joining us. And I hope you understand now why Larry Brown asked you to grant us his interview.
And I mean, I'm I'm like this. I just do what I do. And I don't look back at it.
Uh-huh.
And I just expect great things. Expectation with faith and a dream is a dangerous combination.
Yes. And then you're willing to share, you're willing to reach out and expand that, give some young people or anyone who wants an opportunity
Exactly.
to share in that experience. And that's always a good thing.
Thank
Whenever,
you.
whenever you do good and you try to reach back to help someone else, more blessings will come your way.
That's right.
Yeah, we certainly believe that here at this team. And that's one of the main reasons we do what we do is to try to get information out there and be positive and pass
Right.
someone else.
But I appreciate it.
Glad you decided to join us. Anything you'd like to say in closing?
I think not, just that I'm just excited about the season that's coming up now, and
Okay.
just taking the risk and leaping, letting fear not cripple our destinies anymore. And there is something that everybody has to do. And the piece I was telling you about is on my channel. It's Ain't No Fun When the Rabbits Got the Gun. That's the name of it. And I don't know if you remember Elmer Fudd and the Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so when the rabbits got the gun, it's a whole
Yeah.
different thing.
Yeah.
And so definitely when you get an opportunity, go over there and check it out and subscribe to my channel, like and all that other stuff. And maybe I'll come back another day if you guys will have me, and I'll, let you hear it live or something.
We most certainly will. And
Okay.
this has been a pleasure. I mean, we certainly enjoyed it. And again, whenever you reach back and you're doing something positive and trying to help someone else, only good things will happen for you.
I believe that. Thank you for that confirmation. I really do appreciate that.
Thank you for joining us. And folks, that will do it for this edition of Listen Up a Minute. For the entire team, I am John Dowl, and we will talk with you next time. Until then, be safe and take care of yourselves and each other.
See ya.
I pledge to be the change I want to see in my community. Register and vote.
I pledge to vote in all elections, local, state, and national. Vote.
I pledge to always remember people suffered and died for the right to vote. Vote.
I pledge to always remember we, the people, have the power. Vote.
I pledge to always remember to make a change. Vote.
I pledge to remain in school until I graduate. Register and vote.
I pledge to remain a law-abiding citizen and protect my right to vote.
I pledge to always demonstrate respect for myself and others. Vote.
I pledge to get out the vote.
I took the Get Out the Vote pledge. What about you? Vote.
Take the pledge.
Take the power.